All right, everyone. The other day it was reported that Donald Trump was going to meet directly with the Iranians as of next Monday, I believe. And some people took this as a threat. Donald Trump is going to go in there hard, and he's going to tell them that, they can't get away with building nukes and stuff like that. I believe this is actually a very good thing. Trump is actually engaging with the Iranian leadership. How is this a bad thing? It's called conducting diplomacy. Now, Iran is an authoritarian nation, and I have no love for its government, although its people are fine, its food is great. And so, I don't have any problem with Iranians. But Donald Trump is the only president in recent memory that's actually willing to talk to them. Under the Obama administration, and under the Biden administration, you had them effectively airlifting shit tons of money and so forth to Iran and hoping that they were going to, not develop nuclear weapons. It's sort of like the Clintonian policy towards North Korea. Uh, Bill Clinton decided he was going to send nuclear material to North Korea, to the DPRK of all places in the world, build them a nuclear reactor and say, well, I'm sure that you'll allow the people in there to inspect it to make sure you're not making weapons. The second that the reactor was active, the North Koreans said, fuck off. No, you're not coming in at all. And it made absolutely no sense. The same is true of the Bush-Obama foreign policy, the Biden foreign policy, etc. Donald Trump, meanwhile, is willing to actually talk with the Iranian leadership and say, look, here are the preconditions for, whatever we're going to do. We don't want to go to war. It's something that we are reluctant to do. And that should be, by the way, the stated policy of the United States. But there are certain red lines you can cross, in which case we're going to have to attack the shit out of you. And if that happens, it should be overwhelming firepower in the shortest amount of time with as few civilian casualties as possible. That should be our policy towards literally every nation in the entire world. Iran is often treated as a unique pariah by Westerners. That is, that they think that Iran is the devil or something like that. I don't think that they're the devil. I think that Iran may be doing things that we're not particularly pleased with, but it doesn't make them Satan. Uh, this is the dichotomous way in which certain people in the world think. They think that a country is either a steadfast ally and close friend, or they're absolutely evil. They're terrible and they want to destroy you. Iran does not have the ability to destroy the United States. It will never have the ability to destroy the United States. Should we attempt to enforce the Non-Proliferation Treaty? Yes, absolutely. We should be doing that. Is there any specific evidence that I have been given that Iran is, number one, interested in, and number two, capable of the acquisition of nuclear weapons? No, there is no particular evidence. They had centrifuges working. Oh my God, they were refining nuclear material. There are other uses for this, just to be clear, other than weapons development. Let's say they do develop nukes. Is it a threat to my country? No. It might be a threat to neighboring countries, Syria or Israel or something like that, but it has nothing to do with me. I have no skin in the game. I would believe that the United States leadership should act on behalf of its allies generally within the region. We're allied with Turkey, they're part of NATO, we're allied with Egypt and so forth. They're in proximity generally to Iran. We should act on their behalf. But this is the way to do it. Talk to them. All you need to do is hold meetings. You don't need to go in guns blazing, America, fuck yeah, and stuff like that. So, what the hell are you accomplishing? All you're going to do is degrade your diplomatic standing on the rest of the world stage. It's not going to work. Yes, you'll win the war, but you'll lose. Well, no, you'll win the battle, but you'll lose the war. That's the whole point. What would happen is the United States goes in with a bunch of A-10s and F-16s and shit like that, bombs the shit out of Iran, cripples it completely, and hundreds of thousands of civilians die. How wonderful. And then at the end of the day, what ends up happening is that other countries that are generally on our side, are generally friendly towards us, condemn us. This has happened before, by the way. When we went into Iraq, when we went into Afghanistan, at least at the latter stage, at first people were on board with it because they're like, okay, well, the United States is capable of getting Osama bin Laden. He had already left the country by then, but, it didn't matter at the time. We had a mandate in that particular sense, diplomatically speaking, of course. When we went into Vietnam, when we went into Korea, when we've gone into pretty much every goddamn country that we've gone into since the 1950s. Every single time it becomes diplomatic dead weight. We look like the aggressor, we look like shit, and other countries act appropriate to that. It doesn't matter whether you were actually justified, it matters what the rest of the world perceives. Perception is the law within diplomacy. Perception is literally all that matters. If another country that is not generally friendly towards you at the government level, I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the government level. Let's say the government doesn't like you and the people perceive of your latest action as being inappropriate. They rate it relatively negatively. What does this give to the other government? It gives them a mandate to bitch about you and to shutter you out. That's the way diplomacy works. Likewise, if the people of a country generally approve of your actions, even if the government doesn't like you, they're not going to be able to do anything about it. So you're trying to appease the public of other countries, generally speaking. Yeah, I mean, assuming that it's a democratic country. If it's an authoritarian country, of course, it's not quite the same. Trump has shown a marked capability of dealing with authoritarian countries. He's also shown that he's capable of trying to appease the public of other countries. He only has to represent the public of the United States. But if you're going to conduct a meaningful diplomacy, you have to appease the public of other nations. It's necessary. If you don't do that, if other people fucking hate you, if they think that you're the devil, it's going to be real difficult to get their government on board because their government knows that it'll be kicked on its ass by the public if they work with you. This is how diplomacy works. So, Trump attempting to engage with Iran, in my opinion, is a good thing. The fact that he's willing to actually hold talks with them is a marked improvement over what we've seen for 30, 40 years, actually. My hope is that these talks are successful. I don't want to bomb the Iranians. If Donald Trump were to bring the F-16s up into the air today, and had a couple of aircraft carriers parked, near Iran, and said, well, yeah, we're going to bomb Tehran. Yeah, sorry, but, you're all going to die. I would not support it. I would conceive of it as a diplomatic failure, actually. So my hope is that these talks are, going to bring progress in our international relations because I don't want to go to war with Iran. I'm uninterested in fighting the Iranians. It makes no sense. You're halfway around the world, and yeah, I mean, some of our closer allies, the Egyptians and the Turks and so forth, they're not really friendly with you. But it's not really my fight. It has nothing to do with me, honestly. That's about all. Peace out.